Hello, this is NCS, and welcome back to Let's Play Gensou Shoujo Taisen! Since we have beaten Chapter 1 last time around, today I'm going to show you a little around in the intermission screen. Well, first off, our first option here is the unit status screen, which lets you view your current units. For now we only have Reimu and Ch2 in Reimu's path. But yeah, this screen here is actually exactly the same as the one during the battles, so nothing new here. Although I haven't talked about the stats each character has yet, so I guess now would be a good time for that. Well, we have the stats in the lower right portion of the screen here, starting with Mel for melee. It is used for your melee attacks. The better your melee stat is, the stronger your melee attacks are, so Ascension Kick and Evil Sealing Circle will become stronger, with stronger melee stats. RNG for range is for your range attacks, so Homing Amulets, Perspiration Needles and Yin Yang Orbs become stronger with a stronger RNG stat. Next we have Skl Skill, which is for your critical hit rate, the higher the better again. 173 is actually not all too bad, although we have stronger skilled characters later on. Defense with 86 is really low, so yeah, as you can see, Reimu does take hits very well. And Reimu's armor stat in the lower left of the screen here also shows you how strong her defense is, although armor can be upgraded, but more about that later. So yeah, Reimu really isn't that good of a defending character. However, her evade and her accuracy are above average. So yeah, Reimu, you can count on her evading quite a lot of attacks and, on the other hand, hitting quite well as well. Yeah, Ch2, on the other hand, has a better defense. Surprisingly not all too high. I would have thought her defense is a lot higher than 111, but her armor of 120 is quite well. So yeah, I guess that's the reason why she has such good defense. Her skill level is quite okay as well. She has more melee power than Reimu has, but unfortunately her ranged attack is not that well. But well, her only ranged attack is first pyramid anyway. And her evasion sucks, as you have noticed during the first battle. But yeah, next we have the option to upgrade our units. Here we have HP, MP, so you can use MP-based attacks more often, as well as flying a lot more, and using the option to focus, but you know my opinion on that. Next we have mobility, which increases your chance to evade an enemy attack, and armor, which increases your resistance to enemy attacks, so yeah, just like the defense stat. In order to upgrade those stats, you will have to spend points, 3000 for the first level of HP, and increasing cost with later levels. For MP, the first time around it costs 2000, later, well, the next level costs 3000 more, and so on. Mobility and armor both cost 4000 for the first level. So yeah, it is quite expensive, especially since your points are shared for all your party members. So if you say increase mobility for Reimu, you will have only 1430 points left for all the other characters to spend. So for right now, I'm not going to upgrade anyone for that. Next up we have the skills. Each character can learn different skills. For example, Reimu starts out with Shrine Maiden level 1, which increases your accuracy and evasion depending on level. This ability, the skill will level up automatically as you gain levels with Reimu, so you don't have to worry about that. And Ch2 comes with Parry level 1, which has a fixed chance of nullifying acid attacks, so yeah, every character who slashes against Ch2 will might not have that good of a chance to do that against her. And support attack, which you have seen last time with Nikuri, which is actually quite a good ability. But yeah, other abilities or skills you can buy for grace points, which you will gain for shooting down enemy units. By the way, grace, unlike the other points, are not shared between the characters, so it would be kind of bad if that actually were the case. But yeah, Tipsy, with that you have a starting power of 105 instead of only 100, which is quite nice to have because some characters, some of their attacks require you to have exactly 105 power. So if you buy Tipsy, you can use those abilities right away, those attacks. I'm getting my terms wrong. Next up, for 180 grace points, you can buy Shotgunning, which will increase your ranged attacks power by 1.2 times if you are right next to an enemy unit. But I don't really like that skill for two reasons. One, because 120% isn't all that much more. And the other reason is 180 grace points. That's a lot! I mean, we have 3 pages of skills here. So yeah, 180 is really much. I've never gotten to buy that with any character really, so I'm probably not gonna buy that during this LP either. Next we have Support Attack and Support Defense. Both cost 160 grace points. Support Attack you've seen already, and Support Defense, basically if you stand to a character who has Support Defense, you can defend with that character, who will then take the damage instead of the character who would have been actually attacked. I might show off that skill with Nitri sometime later, so you can actually see that. Although I wouldn't recommend buying that ability for Reimu, because as you have seen, Reimu's defense stat is really bad. The only thing Reimu might do actually is evade, but still, since I don't want Reimu to be attacked in the first place, I wouldn't bother getting that for her. Next we have Instinct Dodge. Costs 50 grace and increases your accuracy and evasion as you lose HP during the combat. So that is something really nice for Reimu, in case she does actually get hit for once. Yeah. Next we have Random Dodge. Almost would have said Random Dodge, yeah. Costs 40 grace and increases your evasion by a random amount. The amount, probably, or the effectiveness of this skill is dependent on your own skill status and the one of the enemy unit. So if you have less chances of critical hitting enemies, your random dodge skill will increase. I don't know why that is, but I also like that ability, that skill, especially with characters who have a really low skill status. We'll get some of those later. For Reimu, I usually buy that skill as well because, I mean, it does increase your evasion. Although Instinct Dodge might be better for her since her skill status is quite average. Next we have Berserk. Costs 50 grace and increases your defense and critical hit rate with lower current HP. Good for characters like Kane and Nitri. Then we have Streaming. Also costs 50 grace, which decreases the amount of HP you will lose by getting hit during, well, by grazing enemy attacks. Since I don't really like focusing to begin with, I usually don't even bother with streaming either. Then we have Pattern Type, which costs 60 grace and lets you do counterattacks. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, do we always counter if we actually choose to counter our enemies? Well, counterattacking means that you have a chance of attacking before the enemy, even though it is actually their turn. So yeah, I haven't bought that ability last time I played it, but it might be not all too bad, but I wouldn't really know, really. This level through 16 chance means not your player level, but the skill level. As you can see, pattern type L1, so level 1, you can buy the skill multiple times, and with each time you buy that ability, the chance of actually counterattacking increases. Then we have Unfocused Movement, also level 1, which costs 70 grace points, which is the reason why I can't buy that yet. And it increases the power of your post-movement attacks, and increases the range of your movement. You will gain you will gain movement range per unfocused movement level. I believe it was 0.2 tiles per level. I'm not really sure anymore, but yeah, you might want to buy that for characters who have a lot of post-movement attacks. Then we have focused movement, which costs also 70 grace, which increases the power of your non-post movement attacks. So obviously characters with a lot of those attacks will actually benefit more from this skill here. It also increases the range of non-post movement attacks. So yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing for characters who are supposed to attack from afar. And then we have the 4 P skills. First, P damage, which will increase your power by 2 every time you are hit. Well, damaged. Well, yeah, it's the same thing. Then we have P hit, which increases your power by 1 every time you hit an enemy character. P evade, which will increase your power by 1 every time you evade an enemy attack. And the one I don't like at all, P danmaku, which will increase your power by 2 every time you stand in danmaku at the beginning of a turn. The reason I don't really like this is because you don't want to stand in danmaku at all. So really. And also with P damage, hit and evade, this can happen multiple times during one round, and P danmaku only one time, so yeah, I don't really like it. P damaged would be good to use for your tanking characters like Kane and Nitiri. P hit for characters with a really good accuracy like Reimu. And P evade the same, so yeah, use that for Reimu as well. And last but definitely not least, we have Predict and Believe, which both cost 140 grace and increase your accuracy and evasion and defense and skill by 1 once your power is up above 130 respectively. So those two abilities are definitely a good thing to use in combination with 1 or 2 of the P abilities here and Tipsy. I would actually recommend getting Predict for characters like Reimu and Marisa, and Believe for your tanking characters like Kane and Nitiri. For right now, I unfortunately can only buy one of the 2 abilities I like for Reimu, Instinct Dodge and Random Dodge. But yeah, since it's early on, I guess Random Dodge might be not a bad idea. Since Instinct Dodge, well, like I said, I don't want to have Reimu getting attacked, so yeah, let's start with Random Dodge and later get Instinct Dodge. And just like other abilities like Unfocused and Focused Movement, those skills here can be leveled up as well. Next we have Wife Upgrades, which lets you spend your WP, your wife points. But for right now, I won't buy anything with that. Simply because, well, each character has their own wife abilities, and I don't really like using Reimus and Kane. Well, Kane might actually be not all too bad, but I want to save my wife points for another character first. Then we can increase the damage of our attacks, but as you can see down there, this costs a lot, so I wouldn't recommend doing that early on. Or at all even, because, well, I like upgrading my well, the stats of my units, especially mobility and armor, and HP and MP. So yeah, I can't say I can't recommend upgrading your attack power, but since it also requires points, I would go for normal upgrades first. Next, we have the option to change our items our characters are holding, but since we don't have any items on this route yet, I can show you that. Then we also can do some system stuff like increasing our volume, etc., key config, the normal stuff. We can save and load our game, can suspend it to get back to the main menu, and get to the next map, which I'll be doing right now.